everyone, it's Tammy and welcome to this episode of our tutorial card making series. I am going to show you guys how to make a card like this, which is just, this is just an adorable card anyway, but it has an added feature. So you open it up and there is a little bookmark right here that is perforated. You can rip it out and actually use that. So isn't that adorable? It's just so stinking cute. So let's go ahead and let me show you how to make this. It is not as hard as you would think it might be. It's actually a pretty basic card with just a little extra. So you kind of get to decorate two cards instead of one. So let's go ahead and get started. First you need an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. And you're going to cut that piece of paper down to 5.5 by 11. So I want it to be here. So I'm just cutting it at 5.5 by 11. So this is 11. Now it's 5.5 by 11. And then I'm going to score it at 4 1/4, just like I would any other card. So this is going to be a regular A2 sized card. So I'm going to use my scorer and score it at 4 1/4. And then I'm going to score it or perforate it again at 4 1/4. So there's a few ways that you can do that. You can either measure 8.5, pull out the little arm and measure to 8.5. You could put this score line at 4 1/4 and perforate it there, or you could take it and 2.5 inches from this end you could do the perforation. So however you want to do it is perfectly fine, because you want this, what I'm trying to want you guys to see is that this is just a regular plain A2 sized card. The only added feature is the little 2.5 inches at the end to give us a little bookmark. And if you thought that 2.5 inches was too long and you wanted to go 2 inches, you could. And you know what? Maybe I'll do that in this one. And I'm thinking that because I have this cute punch. And it is a 2-inch opening, I believe, because I was thinking of using this the last time and I didn't. Let me see, where's my ruler? This opening is, yes, 2 inches. The only problem is that my image is a little bigger than that. I'm going to try to make it work. So I'm going to cut this off at 1/2 inch. I'm just being wild and crazy, aren't I? But that's what this is about. You guys wanted tutorials on how to do some things, and I want to show you guys. And I also think that it's fun to just experiment and try new things, and to kind of let you guys know that this is crafting in real life. So I have a perforation maker. I don't know where I got this or how long I've had it, but it's by EK Success, and it's an oldie but a goodie. I really don't use it very often, but I would say that this tool makes a difference with this card, and it's very inexpensive. It's $2 or $3. Not expensive at all. The other thing that you could do is, if you have a paper piercer, you could take that and every 1/4 inch or so just poke a hole if you don't have one of these. But if you do, definitely this is your chance to use it. And I'm going to go ahead and cut out my cardstock too, or my designer series paper or whatever, and I'm going to use this really pretty house scene. I'm going to use the same stamp that I used here, but I'm just going to give it a different look by making this the background. And I thought this would be cute with Santa and his reindeer, because it looks like he's kind of going to the different houses. So I want this to be cut at 4 inches. And then I want it to be cut at 5 1/4 inches. So this is going to go on the front. And then I also need a piece for the bookmark. So I want this to be a little less than 2 inches. So even on the one that I used there, I just used this extra piece and I didn't even have to cut it for the bookmark. I just laid it in here like this. Ideally it would be 2 1/4 inches because it would be just a little bit smaller than the card, but you can see how it doesn't look bad at all with it like that. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this one at 1/4 inch more. I try to just leave it with one edge that has the cut and then the other edge that came from the factory straight. I don't know why, I'm kind of goofy like that. And then I want this one to be 5 1/4 inches also because it's the same height as the other one. So then this is trash, but see how you're using a lot? This was a 6 by 6 piece of paper and I'm using a lot of it for this, so that's great. I like to use them up. And then I'm also going to need to cut a couple squares. I want this one to be 2 1/2 inches out of what was left. So this is 2 1/2 inches wide, and I'm just going to make this one actually 2 3/4 inches. Sorry, I'm going to go in just a little bit because I want it to be a little wider than it is tall. So I want to put it like this, and that's going to be the front for my image. And then for the inside, for this part, I'm going to need it a little smaller. I'm going to go with, because this is 2 inches, I'm going to go with 2 inches, but then I'm going to back away just a little bit so it's like 1 7/8 inches. And I don't even really know why I'm backing away. I'm just going to go with 2, never mind. 2 inches, and then I'm just leaving it the 2 1/2 inches that it was, and if I need to trim that down, I will. And I might need to. Let's kind of depends on the image as to what size this is. And I wonder if I should just I could maybe cut Rudolph out of this image and just make it Santa. Oh, I think I could do that. Sorry, Rudy. So then I'm going to just trim it down 1/4 inch just for my image. Again, this is I'm not gonna give you dimensions for this because this is totally whatever your stamp is that you're using. Or if you're drawing or whatever, it can be totally up to that. Then I also need a piece of white to go here in the middle. Do I have any of that handy? I do. Here it is. So I'm going to cut this one at 4. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut it at 4 1/4 here because I know myself, and if I were to if I saw this piece of cardstock just like this, I would think, oh, that's already ready for a card. And it's really not because it's 1/4 inch too big because I only needed 4 inches on the other side. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this to 4 1/4 inches so that now if I see it, I'll know it is indeed ready for a card. Or I can use it for scraps. It doesn't matter, however I need to. And then I'm going to cut it at 5 1/4. I hope you guys are following me. If I'm not making sense, just let me know. Because it makes sense to me what I'm saying, but sometimes I think after I hear it said, I'm like, I don't know if that made sense. So it's 4 by 5 1/4, and that's what's going to go on the end. Okay, my silly camera cut off when I was cutting the white piece of paper to go on the inside. So let's first go ahead and fold the cardstock just like it would be a regular card, and then I'm going to fold this in where the perforation is. So it's going to be folded inside, so the card is going to look and open like this. And then I want this white to be here so that you can write your note. And I'm just going to put that right in the middle of the card base. Now, I want to give this a fun edge, and to be honest, I did this on already over here with you guys, and the camera had cut off so you guys didn't see it. So I'm going to do this again, and I'll show you how to do this. Now, what I didn't do with this one that I would tell you guys to go ahead and do is, just like I put the cardstock on the outside of this card already, go ahead and put it on the outside of this. That way when you're doing your punch, when you punch it out, it will automatically fit and be centered. I did it separately, and I was just about to show you guys me putting this on when my camera went down. So I don't know even if this is going to look as good as I'd hoped, because if it fits all the way up here, because I didn't really want it all the way up there, if that makes sense. I want it more centered. So you know what I might do? I might go ahead and put it on here where I want it, and then I'll use this as my guide to where I want to trim this. Hopefully that will work. So all that I did that you guys missed, because my camera shut down, sorry, is that I put ribbon on here, and then I adhered the background paper to the base. So now what I need to do is I need to trim this down. And if you can see in this card, which it might be a good example, I kind of made it a little V, and I did all of that with my little hand scissors. I wouldn't normally do it that way because look how crummy that edge is. It doesn't look very good. If I had known I needed to cut that far down, I would have used this. And now that I do know, I will use this. So I'm going to put this in, and I'm going to put it down so that it's going to cut where the perforation is. But I don't want it to cut right along the perforation line. I actually want to make a little bit of a small, tiny V cut in here. So I'm going to angle this just ever so slightly so it's on just the opposite side of this perforation. So it's going to be just to the right of the perforation, and then I'm going to make it go to the perforation at about halfway down. So I'm just holding this, I'm going to just cut it until I can feel this kind of going bump, bump, bump against the perforation. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, and I'm just going to angle it the opposite way. And this is to the left of the perforation. Again, I feel it kind of bumping with the perforation, so I can take that off. And then when I open this, hopefully, well, there should be, it doesn't look like I cut it all the way through. There should be a little V made in here. Where are my big scissors? What did I do with them? Oh, they're right here. I put them in the wrong spot. So I can see the line, but it didn't cut the line very well. So let me just go ahead and help it along. You could also do this with your scissors. I just don't like doing it with my little scissors because you have to make too many cuts. If you can do it with a pair of scissors and make it just one cut, then that's perfect, which is what I was going for. So there, you guys can maybe see that better when it's on the ground or on the table. It has like a little V. That's going to allow us to put it in here and cut a little nicer, because I can now fold it up while I push this down inside, and see how it allows me to do that. Now I am noticing that it's not going to let me go all the way to where I need to go, at least I don't think. Let me try it one more time. Okay, yes, I can see the start of it, but I can't get all the way up there, so I'm going to need to trim just a little bit off of this as well. So let me take and I just need to trim a little piece because it's too tall to go all the way in to where it needs to go to meet up with this hole that I've already created. You guys wouldn't have to mess with that if you hadn't. I mean, I just am messing with it because I messed up. So you guys won't have to worry about that. But now I can align it with that hole perfectly, and then there we go. So now it looks like yours would look had I not messed up. Or my camera shut down, I guess. Oh, Okay. Let's put some stuff back because I don't like big messes when I'm working. Okay, so now, where is my, oh, did I put my front one here already? I sure did. Oh, goodness. Well, this is crafting in real life. Oh, it's coming up with the card. I don't want that. Okay. Now I can either use this to do another card like this, or I can toss it. I'm going to leave it right now and maybe I'll make another one. Okay, so what I did is I went ahead and put my ribbon on the bottom of the card, and I went ahead and tied a knot on to that ribbon. I don't think, most of you probably need to know how to do that, but if you have questions on that, I'm sure I've done lots of cards with ribbons, or if you have a question, just let me know and I can demonstrate it in a separate video. So this is crafting in real life, and this is a way to save a card. So I'm just going to put this down now on the front of the card. And honestly, I think that's beautiful, just like that. I really do. So cute. Aw. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and do the ribbon on the inside of the card, or on the bookmark. I think that having it double layered up here where the hole punch is going to make this a little bit stronger, so I kind of like that idea. So I'm just going to take, I don't know, some of my ribbon, I don't know, probably a foot. You probably don't need that much. And then I fold it in half, and then you push it through the front of the bookmark, and then you loop it in. So like I have it folded in half, you guys can see that. I'm taking these two ends and I'm going to loop them inside, or I'm going to push them inside the loop and then just pull. And this is where you don't want to pull too hard because it's paper. You guys, you could rip it. So you want to be careful when you're pulling. But so now that I have it kind of pulled as tight as it wants to go on its own, I'm going to make it go a little further just by playing with it. So I'm going to take my little ends and pull those up from the back, and then I'm going to take this and move it down, and I'm just going to just play with it a little bit until I get it as close to that as I can. And if you noticed, I also twisted the ribbon so that they both face the front. Now I know that if you want to, if you feel any resistance, you really need to stop, because if you push too hard, it's, like I said, it's just paper. This will rip right off and then you'll have to start over again. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the inside of this like knot thing, I don't know what to call it, inside of the loop, so that I know that those are going to stay stuck in there. That's just a little cheater method. Oops, I thought that was in there. Well, goodness, while I'm waiting for this to dry, I can't get that in there. There we go. And then I don't want it to be this long, so I really got too much out. So I'm going to go ahead and trim this. And I'm going to trim one. Actually, I think I'll trim this side this way, and this side this way, just like that. And then if you take a lighter and just barely run it across the edge of the ribbon, it will melt whatever the ribbon is at the end and make it so it won't fray. It'll just put a little, and you can feel it. It's like a little ledge so that the ribbon won't fray. I don't know how that works, but it does. So there we go. Now we need to stamp our image and color, and then we can decorate. So I'm going to take what was left of my white cardstock. I'm going to take my stamp and this stamp is weird. It's like totally stuck on here. Like I was trying to, oh here, now I can peel it. Okay, the first time I tried to peel it, it like did not want to peel. I was thinking, well, I don't know how to do that, so I just made it work with, but here, this is working better. I just needed to tell you guys about it, and then it would work. Okay, so I'm going to stamp there, and here. Clean my stamp off, and then I can put it away. This is such a cute image. And like I said, this card is so versatile. There's so many different ways that you could use it. Make it for any holiday, any season, any celebration, anything. Alright, so now I'm going to just use whatever markers you want to use. I am going to use my combo markers. Just bring those over here. And, well, you know what? First I'm going to try to cut out this reindeer so that I can make sure I can do that. So I'm going to cut this in half, which is something I like to do anyway when I'm cutting because I like them to be as small as possible. And then I'm just going to trim this off, and then I'm just going to try to carefully cut this root off out. So it'll just look like Santa is standing there. With his list. And for those of you that don't like to fussy cut, then, I mean, you don't have to. You could do it however you want to do it. I personally don't mind fussy cutting. I also have die cuts for some images. If I want to use a die cut, you could do that. Whatever floats your boat. I'm just trying to show you guys some different techniques, give you guys some ideas on different things that you can do. Use up some of my cardstock and stash, and use some different stamps and do some things that I don't always do. And this is fun, and this is paper crafting. I just didn't like how you could see all the little feet. So there we go, that looks really cute. And I even took the reindeer's hoof and made it look like another glove from Santa holding onto that list. So that worked out. And then, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and fussy cut this one while I'm doing it. Usually I color and then fussy cut. I don't know why I'm doing it different. Doesn't really matter though. I know I've said this a million times before, but when you are fussy cutting, keep your scissors in one spot and move your paper. That'll give you a much cleaner, more precise line. The only time I move my right wrist is when I have to go at a really sharp angle or something, and then I can like turn it just a little bit to help out, but most of the time the only thing that's really moving is the paper. And you might see like right here is why you want to get rid of excess paper, before you start cutting, because if I'm holding my scissors or whatever right now, this part of the paper can like touch my hand and make it not go where I need it to go. Like right now I need it to turn and it's not because it's pushing against my finger. So I have to move my finger to make it work, which is fine. I can do that. But if I didn't have that excess paper on here to start, I wouldn't even have to worry about it. So that's why I like to cut it kind of close when I am, before I start fussy cutting. I just give it a rough cut around it. And you can imagine if, I mean, this was cut down a little bit, you can imagine if I had like a whole sheet of paper or something, it would be getting in the way all the time. And for those of you that know what I'm talking about, you've been there, you know what I'm talking about. Alrighty. I need a drink of my water. Now let's go ahead and color. So the imagination, or your imagination is the limit. However you want to color these is perfectly fine. I'm kind of a traditionalist when it comes to colors. Most of the time when I'm doing something like this, I just go with what I know it to be. But if you wanted to give him a purple hat, you just go right ahead. I'm not sure what color his mitten is though. I don't know if it's red mitten or if it's a black mitten. I think the last one I gave red. Maybe I'll give black this one and see what I think. And I gave him a red nose. So he's Rudy. And then the little holly berries. And then I'm just going to color this Santa for this one, obviously. I got it all. And then I'm going to make polka dots on one of the presents. I love polka dots. Stripes and polka dots. And then let's take and color the deer. I think I'll use this color for the little deer man. And I like making them the same image on the bookmark as the front of the card, but you could even change that up if you wanted to. I guess this one is a little changed up with it just being Santa on the inside. And then, oops, I know I want to make their cheeks a little rosy. I'm going to take a light pink and do Santa's cheeks and his nose. And I'm going to see if that same pink will kind of show up on the reindeer. And it does all right. Yeah, I think that's cute. And then I will take the color that I think I want to use for his face. And I'm going to actually pull a piece of the cardstock out of the trash can and put this on here and see if I like it. See which color I want. Gosh, I might like that one best. So then I'm just going to color in Santa's face, and I'm just going to go right over where I did the pink. And I think that's the only flesh colored area. And then let's see, I'm going to use a little lighter brownish color for his antlers. I had to ask my husband if antlers are lighter or darker than the reindeer. And he said they are lighter than the reindeer unless they're molting, and then they're darker. So I guess I could have done it either way. And then I'm going to make his bag green, and I want it to be a nice Christmassy green. This one. Oh, I forgot that. That needs to be red. His little arm. So I'll make his bag green. I missed the arm on both of them. That's funny. And I'm going to make his scarf green. And I need to do the holly berries, or the holly leaves. So I'll do the bag. The holly leaves. And I'm going to do this ribbon. And maybe I'll do this package, but not the ribbon. And I need black to do his little shoes. And his belt. And its glove. So I'll do his belt, his glove, his shoes, and then I need to do Rudolph's hooves. And sometimes, if you feel like you need to, you can darken up their features again. Just kind of trace over where they were. Sometimes that helps. Then I'm going to take the red again and get that arm colored in. It's funny that I would miss it on both of them. And I need, let's do a really light blue. And I'm just going to take it and kind of flick some of this list with some blue just to give it a little bit of color and dimension. Not that I really want it to be on blue paper. I'm just kind of giving it a look so that it has some sort of depth to it. There we go. And then I need like a golden color for his belt buckle. And I'm going to also do this ribbon. There we go. I think that all the coloring is complete. Move that over to give us some more room. And I have some decorations over here, but I also have these. So I have this stuff. This is a snow marker. I think I got it from Michael's. I think I got it last year. It says to shake it and then push it down. And it kind of puffs up when you add heat to it. So I'm just putting it on his fuzz. I'm not putting it on his beard, but I'm going to put kind of a thick coating where the fur of his hat and coat are. Oh, that happened to me the last time too. Dagnabbit. But nicely it came up. I just dabbed it up, but isn't that bizarro? I don't know why it does that. Sometimes stuff is just crazy. So I'm just dabbing it on. I'm not coloring really, I'm just dabbing. And then I'm going to do the same thing to this one. Well, hopefully not the exact same thing. Okay, and then so once you have it on there, I'm going to take my heat gun and warm this up, and it will kind of puff up a little bit. There, hopefully you guys can see that. I'm just using some things that I have, and I think it's kind of a neat little addition. It's obviously not something that is necessary. But I had it, so I figured, why not? And it looks like I forgot to do the little arm fur. Oh, there's the cat. He jumped down. That was Mr. Fuzz. Okay, so you guys can see that, I don't know if you can see, hopefully you can see, it kind of just gives it a little bit of dimension. Kind of looks a little bit furry or fuzzy or puffed up. It's supposed to look like snow. And I can see how if like you put it on top of a building or something like that, it would look like there was snow. So, and it just dries and it feels like it's lifted. Feels like a puffy sticker kind of. So there we go. So then I'm going to take the little pieces of red that we had prepared. This one goes on that one, and this one goes on that one, and I'm just going to glue these on because again, I'm trying not to add too much dimension to the card because it is going to be a bookmark and because it's a card, so I want to mail it. And with the added ribbon and stuff already on it, I don't want to give it too much more because you could do a dimensional or something like that, but I'm just going to stick with some glue and just stick this down. It's got warm. Made my tabletop warm. All right, and then I will just stick Mr. Santee. Ah. Well, darn it. You know what I'm going to do? I'll turn it this way. It dries clear. I don't know why I'm being weird about it. It probably would be just fine if I had left it that way, but why not when I have another side? You want it to be as perfect as you can make it, which you know it'll never be perfect, but you know. So then I'm just going to put adhesive on the backs of these, and there's a cat hair on this one. And then I can adhere those to the card. I'm going to put this one on the card front right here by the ribbon. And then I'm going to put this one on the bookmark. Right there like that. Super cute. And then we can do some embellishments. And I didn't embellish the bookmark because, again, I want people to be able to use this in a book, so I want this to be as flat as possible. But I am going to use some embellishments to do the front. And I have my handy dandy quick stick, the Quicker Poker Picker Upper. And I just like to use this for when I'm trying to get little small things. Well, I say that and then I can't pick up this one with it. So we'll use this poker, and I'm just going to put this here where the holly berries are, and then now I think I can use this a little easier. And I'm just going to use one of each color and just stick them on here. So this tool is really handy for these rhinestones that come stuck together. Like I could pull up this whole sheet of rhinestone and just make it a straight rhinestone sticker. But I want to use them singly, so I'm just pulling one off, and this comes in really handy when you need to do that. There we go. And these rhinestones were from Hobby Lobby. I'm not sure where these were from. I kind of think these were Stampin' Up! Ones, but I'm not positive. And so here we go. Here is our completed card. with a bookmark. Super cute. And here's the other one, just so you can see the difference. Very similar, but not exactly the same, and very fun. I hope you guys like it. I hope you guys try it. I like how I did that one a little better. I'm going to go ahead and do this on this too. It just kind of livens it up a little. I might even do his arm over here. Yeah, I think that's better. All right. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Have a great day. Bye-bye.